Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bosch. The number of clean diesel models in North America will double by 2014. Bosch Clean Diesel. Good, clean, fun. Bridgestone. Your journey, our passion. And by Dow Automotive Systems. Improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Thanks for joining us for the beginning of a new week of keeping an eye on the car business. I'm John McElroy, this is Autoline Daily, and now the news. And when it comes to global car sales, the news is really good. Wards reports that sales hit a world record in March with nearly 8.25 million vehicles sold, and that's a 5% gain compared to last year. That's thanks to growth in China, Russia, India, and in North America. And then there's good news for car enthusiasts in South Korea. GM will start selling the Chevrolet Corvette there next month. But get this, the base model with 430 horsepower will be priced at 86.4 million won. That's about $76,000, which is 50% more than it costs in the U.S. Since the U.S. and South Korea now have a free trade pact that lowers tariffs, looks like Chevy is pricing the car for high margins. Even so, are the Detroit 3 finally going to get serious about exporting from the U.S. to the rest of the world again? Remember, we just reported that Ford is designing the next generation Mustang with overseas sales in mind. And then there's some sad news to report today. Dan Knott, the Vice President of Purchasing of Chrysler, succumbed to his fight against cancer. Dan was only 51 years old and was just hitting his stride as a senior executive. He was a true automotive enthusiast, having worked on the original Dodge Viper and as director of Street Racing Technology, SRT. He had also been vice president of engineering and survived the debacles with Daimler and Cerberus and was primed to play a significant role in the company's amazing comeback. And it's sad to see the industry lose one of the good guys. Last week, GM CEO Dan Akerson said he wanted his replacement to come from within the company, which got us thinking, okay, who could it be? So all this week, I'll be presenting you with the executives who I think might be in the running. And on Friday, I'll give you my analysis of who might get the top job. But you can't tell the players without a scorecard, and first up on today's scorecard is Tim Lee. He's not that well known outside of the company, but Tim Lee is a GM lifer who grew up on the manufacturing and labor relations side of the business. A native of Lorain, Ohio, he spent much of his recent career overseas, including stints at Isuzu in Japan, at GM Europe in Zurich, Switzerland, and now in Shanghai, China, where he is president of GM's international operations. He's also the chairman of GM Korea and was just appointed to the supervisory board of Opel. In fact, he is in charge of almost all of GM's operations, except for North and South America. All that international experience gives him the kind of resume that the board of directors at GM would love to see in choosing their next CEO. But it is rare, very rare, to see manufacturing guys make it to the very top, no matter how much other business experience they have. Even so, Tim Lee could prove to be the exception to the rule. And speaking of GM and Isuzu, reports out of Japan say GM's going to take a 10% stake in Isuzu, again, to jointly develop, produce, and sell pickup trucks and commercial vehicles in Asia and Central and South America. Analysts speculate that if the deal goes through, Toyota could sell its stake in Isuzu since they would be competing with each other. But I find it very curious to see GM signing up partners again after it was forced to drop those relationships when it went through bankruptcy. The new Ford B-Max is kind of unique. It's a subcompact MPV based on the company's B-Class platform, but what really makes it stand out are the doors. It's rear sliding doors. Now I know what you're saying, John, there's nothing new in that. And you would be right, except for one thing. Engineers have managed to delete the B pillar, which gives wide open access to the rear seats. I'm amazed this thing can meet crash standards, but high-strength and ultra-high-strength boron steel was the solution. 40 real-world side impact crash tests verified all the computer simulations. According to wardsauto.com, Ford will likely use this approach on other vehicles in its lineup, and, come to think of it, maybe that could finally help them build a competitive minivan.
I'm Seamus McElroy in the middle of Texas Hill Country, test driving the all-new Dodge Dart, and I'll have that report coming up next.
Look at this. Bridgestone's using natural rubber, researching ways to enhance its quality and performance, and making their factories more environmentally friendly, producing products that save on fuel and emissions, and some that can be reused again, and promoting eco-friendly and safety driving campaigns. One team, one planet. Bridgestone.
Blue skies, no clouds, that's why it's always hot in Texas. In other words, the perfect spot to check out one of the hottest new cars in the compact segment, the Dodge Dart.
Well, I think it starts with the platform itself. We touched upon the DNA of an Alfa Romeo, so really when you're behind the wheel, you get that steering feedback, that fun to drive aspect that I think is missing in some compact cars these days. Then you shift over into the powertrains. We've got a great powertrain story ranging from 160 horsepower with our 2.0 up to 184 horsepower in the RT. And then a sweet spot right in the middle is our 1.4 multi-air turbo with 184 pound-feet of torque. You can get it with a manual or an automatic, a lot of fun to drive. And then its customization on this car is phenomenal. There's over 100,000 different ways that you can really personalize and configure this vehicle, ranging from 6 different wheel choices, 14 different interior color and trim combinations, 12 exterior colors. So I think that brings a lot of fun and spirit back into the compact sedan market.
One of the things that sets the Dart apart from its competition is its interior. In fact, it's already been named one of Ward's best interiors, and it's not even on sale until June.
Some of the key features are soft touch surfaces all throughout the cabin, and not just on the premium models. We basically have soft IP, soft door armrest, console armrest, soft instrument panel, top brow on every single price class, which is astonishing, I think, for this type of segment. One of the other big things is technology. Technology is huge. We have 2 class exclusive features in our 8.4-inch Uconnect system, which is in the center. And then we have our TFT thin film transistor LED cluster that is basically a 7-inch large TFT cluster that's reconfigurable, customizable, and that's found right in that instrument cluster display. So those are huge technology features. We also have a lot of ambient lighting and tons of storage on the interior.
So as you heard, there will be 3 engines available for the Dart. We were able to drive the 2-liter and the 1.4-liter. The 2-liter with an automatic was a little sluggish at times going up hills, but overall it was okay. And the 1.4-liter with a manual was much better. But that wraps up our short look at the Dart. I'll have a deeper dive into it in an upcoming Autoline Daily. In Albert, Texas, I'm Seamus McElroy.
Yeah, we still haven't driven all the powertrain permutations in the Dart, so we're going to have to reserve our final judgment until we do. But right now, I would rate the Dart as a better car than the Elantra, Civic, and Corolla, but maybe not quite as good as the Chevy Cruze or Ford Focus. Hey, before we go, I want to remind you that you can always get Autoline Daily emailed directly to you every day, along with reminders of our other shows. Just go to our website, autoline.tv, and scroll down the left-hand column to where it says Daily Email. It's free, and we will not share your email address with anyone else, just like we never have. And that wraps up today's show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.